Okay, so the monkey minds are going bananas again. I'm just listening to let's call this website Higher Self. It's supposed to be about expanding your consciousness, higher consciousness, ascension. What is it really? Let's just call it a toilet, because that's what gets posted on this website that's supposed to do with higher consciousness. Sweet fuck all. Sweet fuck all to do with higher consciousness. What's it really got to do with? Um, Dumb, stupid people. If you're dumb and stupid and really good at just talk lies, if you're good at that, higher self is at the place you need to go. I don't know. I follow this. It's just that it gets a lot of views. It gets a lot of views. And how much useful information is posted here? Actually, it's a negative. You listen to higher self, and you're going to be put into the wrong direction. Okay, here's a sample of one that I just started listening to. If you're one of these awakened people, what's an awakened person? Um, Nobody that's watching higher self. But if you're an awakened person who's doing yoga and maybe you're doing like fasting or you're doing a lot of magic mushrooms, you've gone vegan, you're taking reishi mushrooms, you really know all about the conspiracy theories. And my God, you got to tune in and watch more of this stuff. So, what did we just have? The one I was just watching, it started off with this line: people who are awakened, spiritually awakened, they call it, either have lower or higher blood pressure than normal. Then they get into the video and they don't talk about the lower blood pressure right away. But did they later on? I don't know. I couldn't listen anymore. I wanted to barf. But they start talking about the high blood pressure and how the high blood pressure in you, spiritually awakened people, is actually good for you because it's going to help transform your DNA. And then it continued, and I couldn't listen anymore. It's just one more shitty video from Higher Self. It's a complete lie. If anybody is actually spiritually awakened, lower blood pressure. Lower blood pressure, for sure. For sure. Why is that? Because we know that people who meditate a lot get healthier bodies and they have lower blood pressure, lower pulse rate, because they're calm. None of these Tibetan monks that meditate all the time, none of them are going to have high blood pressure. But this idiot that was on Higher Self goes on and on about how high blood pressure is going to change your DNA. I'm not even going to ask you, what proof you're going to give us. This is just what they give you on Higher Self. It's just blather. It's simply blather. It's just garbage. And how is this going to help people who are really interested in raising their consciousness? It ain't. It's going to send them 12 different directions, and none of these directions are going to be useful in getting higher self. What about changing your DNA and getting a crystalline body? This bullshit keeps getting talked about all over this new age groups, constantly talking about, oh, you're going to get like 12 strand DNA. And I roll my eyes, and then I hear some of these people who, when I listen to all the trainings they've been through, they should know better. These are people who have been to like Tibetan monasteries and trained with the masters. They've been there. They know all this stuff, and still they're still talking about changes in DNA. And I'm seriously like, are the Tibetan Buddhists really going down to their local life labs and having their blood analyzed to see if they've got new DNA or changed DNA? No, never, none. But all of these new age people that keep going on about 12-strand DNA, this is bullshit. This is so much bullshit. 12 different ways of bullshit. And the thing is, once one of them hears of this 12-strand DNA, then they're going to start incorporating it into the talks that they give. Stupid, stupid, stupid people. Do they have a good heart? It doesn't matter. What good is a good heart if you're stupid? A lot of times, people like Doreen Virtue talked about angels and like angels that are incarnated as humans. Okay, so I'm one of these what do they call? Well, whatever it is, I'm an earth angel. That's what they call earth angel. It's a human whose previous life to this one was an angel, a non-physical angel. And they say, well, non-physical angels, earth angels, they have two problems. Number one, they get really fat. If you're a fat person, first thing that one of these woo-woo people are going to say to you is, oh, you're an earth angel. It's normal for you to be fat. And number two, earth angels are stupid. Why? They're just stupid. They're just stupid. They're not grounded in physical reality, like a physical body being here on physical earth. They're not that. They're still lost in the realms of angelhood. So they're very gullible people. If you see someone who's fat and gullible, they're an earth angel. This is new age woo-woo nutter. It's just nutter. These people are all known as nutters. They're not grounded in reality. They make their own reality just by... Are they smoking too much grass? No, they're like this all the time. They're probably someone who doesn't smoke anything, doesn't drink anything. Just stupid. So, seriously, why do these people think that they're getting 12-strand DNA? Why do they think that their carbon-based body is going to turn into crystalline what? These people never took high school chemistry. Seriously, how is it possible not to take high school chemistry? How's it possible? Everyone's got to take it in my town. Everyone's got. A lot of them doesn't sink in, but basic things. That's what they say. Your carbon-based body is changing to crystalline. Crystalline carbon. I'm going to have like a diamond. Crystalline carbon is diamond. And yes, it's true that we're made up a lot of carbon. But you're not going to change the carbon that's in the biological molecules of a biological human. You're not going to crystallize that into diamond. That's the most asinine thing I've ever said. So, no wonder you people with the good hearts but zero for brains can't attract anybody. What kind of a law of attraction? Who are you trying to attract? You can't attract me. Because I look at what you have to say and I say, you're a moron. 12-strand, what the hell is that going to look like? That ain't going to work according to basic biology that you learn in high school. It ain't going to work. 2 strands. That's all there is, and they explain it very well how it goes together. Thymidine with adenine. That's a law of attraction. Those two things naturally gravitate to one another in DNA. But the 12-string thing, I don't know where they get this. It's just, but then one hears it, and then they're just like, blah, 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 I'm a stoop. I'm incredibly stupid, but I got a good heart because I just know that, if I keep following all these teachings that I am an ascended master. And then, well, I'm still waiting to be like Baba G and be able to, teleport from here to there and go from being, a middle-aged guy to back being 7 years old, shapeshifting. So what is it with the new age? I mean, why do I talk about it so much? Well, it's at least something different than what you get on mainstream TV. But we don't have an Ascension channel on Netflix. Why not? I don't know. I can do it. An Ascension channel on Netflix. Well, so they're trying to go and get a crystalline body, and then from there you're going to go and switch to a rainbow body, because that's what the Tibetan Buddhists always talk about. Rainbow body. Or, if you're going to India, they'll call this the gross physical body, and then they'll say you have other bodies like an emotional body, a Buddhic body or something. Is there anything useful in any of these teachings? Why do you want a rainbow body? Why do you want a crystal body? What's wrong with this one? Well, you're getting more and more light pouring in to the planet. And the light is changing your, what light? The same sunlight that came when I was 7 years old, I saw it again this afternoon. It's unbelievable, I went for a walk in the middle of the afternoon, just like when I was 7 years old. The sun's up there and it's lit. Is there new light coming from the star? Why would our sun start changing the kind of light that it's putting out? 1972 when I was 7, somehow the light then is different than the light it's putting out today in 2020? I don't think so. So all of you bozos that keep talking about all this new light that's coming into the planet, well, it's not really light. It's like these rays from the Ascended Master. It's green ray that's going into your green heart chakra. And it's upgrading your DNA and it's giving you activated. What's activated DNA? These people are nuts. I mean, seriously, I've got a lot of questions about DNA for the science people. Don't you worry, because I went through schools of science, and I've got a lot of questions about stuff that, it was force-fed to me when I was in high school and university. Force-fed. But we never, very little time in classroom to talk about this stuff. And some of this stuff, it takes you 30 years of it sitting there in your database before it starts coming back up again, bubbling up to the surface of your mind. And, some of the things you were force-fed because they just said, this is the way it is, this is the way in the textbook. You start having questions, more and more questions start coming up. It's like, my biology professors are pretty much all dead now. Because, they were older people way back when I was 20. And so they're not around for me to call them up and say, I got another question. I know you gave me that, degree in biology back in, 1987, but I got more questions now. Because you force-fed me to learn all this stuff, and then I had to go and put it back down on the paper to answer the questions. But I guess I really didn't understand it fully. And over time, just more and more questions come up. And now you're all dead. And am I supposed to go back? No, I'm not going to go back and take another Bachelor of Science. And where they're going to force feed me even more facts that I got to memorize and then put down on a test or an exam. And then our systems are just... Anyway, the whole point of it is anything to do with New Age and activating your DNA with light or consciousness or love doesn't ring a bell with me at all. And if you're going to quote Bruce Lipton to me, because I'm sorry, I was into Bruce Lipton 10 years ago. Am I still No, I'm not following Bruce Lipton anymore. Because he's a kook. How did he ever get a PhD? Well, apparently in the United States they have diploma mills. It's like third-rate places that you can pay them and they'll give you a degree because... I'm sorry, it just doesn't work, Bruce. Whatever you're talking about, it doesn't work. Me talking to my body and expecting my body to fix its DNA is stupid. Bruce Lipton, you're an idiot. And you're spreading all this garbage which makes New Age people stupid for listening to you, and it gives a bad name to PhDs in like biology. Because they look at you and they say, Jesus Christ, he's all over YouTube. He's got all these books, and he tells us all these fucking lies. And he looks kind of like a grandfatherly fellow, he used to have a beard and whatever. But seriously, don't buy any Bruce Lipton. It don't work. And it'll lead you down the wrong path. That's the biggest harm with all of these people, is it leads you down the wrong path. If you want to get into higher consciousness, don't listen to any videos on YouTube. Because it's just garbage. It's just garbage after garbage after garbage after garbage. Fantasy, folklore, mythology, all those things could be studied in literature, but they shouldn't be studied as a method for you to run your life. But people give up because the traditional ways that we're taught, like high school, do a shitty job of getting you ready for this world that's so weird that you can't get really good information because the textbooks are all wrong. And the people who are most successful on planet Earth are criminals. So if you think, that things have gone wrong on planet Earth and you're looking for a group of people that you can see if you can, like, group together or something, in my experience, no. Can't find these people. They're all contaminated. They're all contaminated. So keep following me. I know that I have my rages about the demonics and things. Probably so many times you wonder how I even survive. Well, yeah, it's true. But right now the demonics are fairly quiet. And I know sometimes I don't always talk about higher consciousness, and I talk about some other things. But, generally speaking, if you follow me, you're going to find out that sometimes I change my mind, but pretty much everything I want to tell you is everyone on planet Earth is a asshole. And that's how I get through life. The biggest problem that humans have is looking at other people and thinking that they're smarter than you or better than you because they're driving a fancy car, for example. The truth of the matter is, humans on planet Earth calibrate at about 202 on average on the scale of human consciousness. They're barely past the lying stage. Barely. And that's if you're in the United States. Anywhere else on the world, people are even more low consciousness. Planet-wide, 90% of the people lie for a living. United States, it's only 50% of the people. Why? Lying works.